Good evening, everyone. Today, we are having this chakra series going on. And in the chakra series, the first time it was based on a quiz. But then later I realized that there is a lot that we all need to understand about these chakras. So last time, there was an effort by me to simplify it in terms of your understanding about face chakras. I hope it helped, that it made it a little simpler for you to associate what each chakra means, what each chakra point means for all of us. Today, I'm going to take you through just the 7 major chakras. And for that, it's not going to be about what each point represents because we already know it. The root, sacral, solar, heart, throat, third eye, and the crown. So with our experience and learning and understanding of Redikall, we know what they mean, right? But what are the influences? What are the reasons that in our daily lives or in our thinking or in our emotional outbursts or in our feelings about living, about feeling things around us, what happens? How do we quickly know, oh, okay, this, I think my root chakra is affected. I need to take care of it. Or I think this is a sacral issue. Because don't you find all your mentors telling you that this is a sacral issue or this is a heart chakra issue? So why not try to understand those aspects of each chakra that affect, impact, and are responsible for our behavior, our thinking, our feelings, and at the same time, maybe if we are going through traumatic times, which we can attribute sometimes to others, but then we understand that it's my story. I need to take care of my major chakras first. What happens when all the major chakras fall in place? You start getting aligned. And that alignment, right from Mother Earth to the universe, is a direct connect. And that connect allows the flow of energy both ways, from root to chakra and from root to crown, and from crown to chakra root, as a constant cycle. And don't forget, all the other chakras, the 7, they are also rotating. That means front chakra, back chakra of each. So you have the connect as a loop like this, and then you have all the chakras in a loop like this. So how can we make sure that what is it that is stopping us from progressing, stopping us from learning, stopping us from being our true authentic self? So are you ready for it? Give me a thumbs up if you are. Good. Hi Ritu, nice to see you. Okay, it would be nice to see a few faces, of course. Oh, I'm so happy, Sarojini. Thank you for joining.
Hi.
Lovely to
I
see
know.
you. Okay. So
Good
let's
to see you all.
Thank you. So let's first start with the root chakra. What does root chakra represent? We all know. Yeah, it is stability and survival. That is what is given in our absolute, I would call it the Bible of Redikall. It's given there, survival and stability. But what do we understand from survival and stability? What all does it cover? Let's try and understand that part of it. So I've broken it down into a few aspects. If you want to write it down, you're most welcome because I wrote it down myself too. So what is the stabilities that we are talking of? It is grounding and stability. It is emotional traumas that affect us, which impact our survival and stability. It's our physical health. Anyway, the recording will be there. So it's okay. Even if we listen right now, you can write it later. So grounding and stability, emotional traumas, physical health, family and ancestral influences, which lead to all the inner children, or a backlog, which is karmic or anything like that. Environmental factors. Now think about all of what I'm saying. We are talking of root chakra. Jasina says no sound. Can everybody hear? All
We
right.
can hear. We are
All right.
okay.
Okay. Jasina, you'll have to check at your end. Okay. So coming back. So we're talking of survival and stability. So survival and stability, that means we need to be grounded. We need to be aligned to our personal axis. Correct. So we have grounding and stability, emotional trauma. So if there is emotional trauma in our life, we get shaken up, right? If there is physical health problems, we are also shaken up. If there are family and ancestral issues, we are totally shaken up, right? It affects us for a very, very long time. Then we have environmental factors. We'll come to the details of it. I'm not talking right now. Then financial stress. That's also a very important factor, that your root chakra is not going to be stable. Then you have a lot of belief systems. Now, a lot of belief systems impact and affect because maybe you have been taught that if a cat crosses your road, a black cat, then you shouldn't go, it's bad luck. I'm just taking a simple example. But there could be a lot of belief systems that the families carry through. You start forming your own belief systems. You get affected and impacted by your friends, your colleagues at work, anything. All these factors come into play. Then, what is your connection, spiritual connection to Mother Earth? That is also equally responsible. The soil that you are in. Here I'll give an example. I know someone, it's a family who lives in, Dubai. And they have been very uncomfortable there, despite the husband having a fantastic job, the wife also having a very good job. The children are going to the best of schools, but they have no happiness. There's a lot of sort of cactus in their life. So I suggested to them, do you think it's possible that you are not accepting Dubai? Because they come from a European country, and Europe, is very beautiful, right? So for them, that impact, even though they knew where they're going, the work was good, everything, but they were somewhere not able to accept Dubai, even though Dubai is so absolutely modern, right? So we worked with them just with Dubai and accepting Mother Earth of Dubai as what is their reality as of today. Now things are very different. So when we say spiritual connection to Earth, that's what we mean, all right? Then remember self-identity and self-worth. We talk a lot about it and we associate it with other chakras, mostly with our throat chakra, right? It is true. It is definitely the dominant chakra is the throat chakra for self-identity and self-worth. But as a process, if you are lacking in self-worth or you don't feel a sense of identity, you are insecure. When you're insecure, you start imagining a lot of things that everything is going wrong in your life. And, so then the process begins. So then you get destabilized. And when you get destabilized, other chakras also start getting destabilized. Because if your foundation is weak, if your foundation is not standing on absolute firm ground, no building, no life, no existence can be easy. Right? So let's go to grounding and stability. What exactly does it say? That means that if we feel disconnected from Earth or lack stability in our lives, it can negatively impact this chakra. Are we clear on that? If you have any questions coming up in between, please keep asking me. I'd be more than happy to address it directly at the same time, not at the end. Right? So we know about the grounding and stability, that it means being grounded in all aspects of our lives. Mental, physical, emotional, financial, spiritual, and everything. Right? So then emotional trauma that I talked about, past traumatic experiences, especially during early childhood, can block or imbalance the root chakra. Certain fears we developed as a child, certain beliefs we learn to make it part of our lives as a child, certain traumas. It could just have been a simple thing like your mother told you, this is the last piece of chocolate you already shared with your sibling, but since he is smaller or he or she is younger to you, be a good girl and let him have the last piece. What happened? You went into a trauma. My mother doesn't love me. I'm unloved. I'm uncared for. I'll have to look for ways to survive. So what will I start doing? Maybe I start stealing, because everything will be given to my sibling, younger one. She is the preferred one. I'm not. I have to survive. So maybe the thought came from just a piece of chocolate. We don't know, right? So there could be hundreds of reasons for such things to happen in your life. So what happens is experiences like neglect, abandonment, or a lack of basic necessities may lead to feelings of insecurity and instability. Okay? So it's not just related to throat chakra or the heart chakra. The base starts from the root chakra. Okay? Then we have the third point, which I talked of, the physical health. So our physical health, our vitality is very important, the energy that we carry within us, because that is the energy that takes us through the day, through the work, through our life, through every, action and activity that we decide to do in life, right? So if we neglect our bodies, or we suffer from some chronic health problem, what happens? If we neglect our bodies, the worst part is that we ourselves start hating our bodies. I'm so fat, I'm not fair, or my hair is like this, or my this is like that. We start doing all that. We start comparing to others. We start dishonoring ourselves. Now you see these words, they are there in the other chakras. But the foundation, as I said, and I keep repeating, starts here. Right? So when you have these kind of thoughts, feelings, emotions, or illnesses, what happens is it creates an imbalance in the energy system. Then your frequency and your vibrations also get affected. And when that gets affected, you are not stable. So when there's no stability, again, it's the root chakra. So now, whenever you're talking to yourself or to your clients or to people who you meet, or you're doing a self-assessment, Just try and understand, where is it that I'm allowing myself to get affected? Or where is it that my client is getting affected? So if you just focus, let's say it is about honor. So if you just focus on the solar chakra, that may not be the reality. Probably the root needs to be taken care of too. Yeah? Okay. Then we come to family and ancestral influences. It's also linked naturally to family connections, as we know, because family patterns and beliefs that are passed on generationally, it's all there in our DNA, but we can change it. When we allow ourselves to be in awareness, to understand that this is not me, this is coming from back and beyond, I can change it. Because who is going to live your life? You. And your life for you matters. And when it matters, you want it to be the best version of your life. And to make it the best version of your life, you need to be your authentic self. So this is all, if you look, everything is a linked chain which tells you how beautifully you can align yourself. Right? So if there are generational patterns that are coming down, they can affect you mentally, they can affect you, your health also. There could be a lot of things that can get affected. So just have a look and see, where is it that it needs to be changed? Probably it's my root chakra, right? Then we have what I talked about, environmental factors. Now, what are those factors? As I said, it could be including the safety and security of your own home. Do you feel safe in your home? Do you feel uncomfortable when certain relatives visit? It's possible that you are not comfortable when certain people are visiting your home, right? Do you feel secure in the community that you're living in? Sometimes, out of sheer, what should we say, necessity, some people have to look for homes maybe which are in a little lesser inhabited, well-inhabited area, which means they're leaving home early to go to work, come back late, and the people living around may not be, of your same wavelength, vibrancy, vibration, and frequency. They may be the type of people. Oh, let me give an example. Suppose it's like in the Bombay, if you're living in Mumbai, the chawl system. You have good chawls also. So suppose to start your career, you started to live in a chawl-like house, but the neighborhood is not the same for you. So you have to be very cautious and you have to be very careful and you have to be very concerned about every movement of your life. That can cause a lot of insecurities. At your workplace, you may be fine, but you don't have that kind of finances that can help you to move to a better proposition. So this could also it's just an example. So in your community, in your areas, wherever you're living, so if you're living in an unstable and unsafe environment, that also creates blockages in your energy, right? Financial stress, I don't need to stress on that one. I think all of us understand that part of it, that it really creates an imbalance because it gives you a heightened sense of insecurity, instability, and that is where our basic need to survive kicks in, because we all associate survival with money. So money will not come to you. You have to bring money to you. And how can that happen? That can only happen if we are open enough to say, it's okay. Right now, I have, maybe you want 10, but you have only 5. It's okay, I have 5. But in that 5, let me make the best of it because I know I will get the 10. And that's a different approach. If you say, how am I going to get that 10? I know it's never going to work. I'm at a loss. What will I do? How will I survive? So when you are putting all these questions in the universe, what will the universe say? Okay, take it. This is what you want. Right? So if we strengthen our root chakra, it makes all the difference. Then we come to belief systems. Now, belief systems about ourselves, others, and the world can shape the health of your root chakra. Positive beliefs about security and abundance can create and strengthen this energy. But if you have negative and limiting thoughts, it can weaken it. Right? So belief systems could be of any kind. Ask yourself, is it worth it carrying that belief system or is it not? I like the way Ritu is shaking her head. Great. Then we come to the spiritual connection to earth, which I've given an example already, that if you do not feel connected either to the land or to the nature where you are living or surviving, it becomes difficult for you. But if the circumstances are very extreme, God forbid, if one of us was put in the situation where we were in Himachal Pradesh and then the floods had come, that was a calamity, right? So we have seen what happens. Nature also plays its role. So if we are connected to what is necessary and just right for us and move accordingly with full respect to Mother Earth, things can be much better. The whole planet is going through this. The root chakra of the planet has been shaken completely, of the planet itself, because we have disrespected it, we continue to disrespect it. Right? So then this is what we'll get in return. All right. Then we have self-confidence, identity, and self-worth. So a strong sense of self and healthy self-esteem contributes beautifully to a balanced root chakra. Now you'll say self-esteem, etc. is in throat chakra. Yes, it is. But the effects of it, as I said, in the loop, it works like that. So everything that is from the base goes up till the crown. So it depends what you are carrying forward, positives or negatives. So from root to sacral to solar to heart to throat, if it's a collection of negatives at every stage, imagine what happens to you. You can't come out of the loop that you create, right? So any questions till now on this? Anyone? No questions?
So how to clear it, ma'am?
Very simple. Good. So Priyanka, all you can do is use the R5 statements that are given either in the book, and if you don't have it, I can give it to you. For survival and stability, I choose to thrive in life. It will be, I choose to thrive in life, or I recognize my zest to thrive in life, or I admit my zest to thrive in life under the loving care of radical consciousness.
So it's there in the Radical Crystalline book.
They are there in the book.
So
but no, these, for the 7 major chakras, they are there. What level are you, Priyanka?
I've completed the 2nd level.
Yeah, so it's there in the book. So basically, clearing your root chakra is just going to the root chakra and working on the root chakra statements. Okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you repeat once more? I admit.
I admit my zest to thrive in life under the loving care of radical consciousness. But it'll be there in the recording. You can always listen to it again and get it from there, okay? Right. Then we come to the sacral chakra. What is sacral chakra? As we understand it, it's all about pleasures of life, right? So what is pleasures for us? It's not just sensual and sexual pleasures. It is learning to enjoy just life and living it, enjoying every moment of it. So there are many aspects which may suppress it for us. What are those aspects? Emotional trauma and repression, sexual repression or misuse, creative suppression, guilt and shame, lack of pleasure and joy, unbalanced relationship, addictions and unhealthy habits, imbalance in creative or sexual energy, fear of change, and lack of sensuality and body awareness. These are some of the points that I, sort of built it up for us to understand this better. It is not just about, our senses, they have to be delighted. You eat ice cream, right? You're a family of 6 of friends, let's say, and you've gone and you've decided that, okay, today is ice cream day. You want maybe a strawberry, the other one wants a chocolate, the other one wants a butterscotch or whatever, or somebody wants a gelato. Each one has a different taste. Haven't you heard somebody say, how can you eat that ice cream? How can you like that ice cream? Right? Because the sensual pleasures that you have are also different for each one of us. The basic love is ice cream, right? So how do we go about it? So if it is emotional trauma and repression, so past emotional traumas, especially those related to relationships, intimacy, or creativity, can create real big blockages in the sacral chakra. Because if you have repressed emotions, something that you've never been able to express yourself with, and unresolved feelings, they can hinder the free flow of energy in this energy center. So have women mostly worldwide, though every country is advanced enough, but still there is a lot of repression. They are not allowed to express themselves. They are not allowed to dress the way they want. They are not allowed to get out of the house maybe. They are not allowed to educate themselves. So and they are not allowed to maybe go into the creative fields. I'm taking as a bigger picture. Individually, each one goes through their own. Sometimes, I've heard a lot of women say, what's the point of saying anything? They're not going to listen to me. They don't understand me, and they're not going to listen to me. But did you try and express yourself? Maybe not. So how about making that effort? I can't do it. That means your root chakra is unstable also. Get it? So you have to start making these links. It's not just about sacral. I can't do it. Why can't you do it? I feel scared. I don't know. They might throw me out of the house. So insecurity kicks in. So for your own stability and security in life, you'd rather repress yourself than learn to enhance your sacral chakra. Right? Okay. Any questions? You can post it in the chat. Oh, there is something in the chat. Oh, that's okay. Right. Then we have sexual repression or misuse. We understand that very clearly. It's because the sacral chakra is closely connected to our sexuality. And when you have sexual repression or engaging in unhealthy sexual behaviors, that can also create an imbalance in your chakras. So if you need an expansion on this topic, I think it's very clear. Sometimes you have in marriages or in partners a very aggressive behavior from one of the partners. So much so that the other one is absolutely scared of the very act which God has designed to bring two people together. So, is it really worth it? What is it that you're afraid of and not able to share with your partner? Maybe you need to work on that. And again, root chakra also needs to be totally secure on this. Then we have creative suppression. So creativity is the hallmark of sacral chakra. So creativity in any field. Maybe you're fond of singing, maybe dancing, maybe cooking, maybe anything. It could be anything, painting, or creating beautiful crafts, etc. So don't hide behind the fact that how can I do it now? I couldn't do it in my childhood. What's the point of doing it now? I have no time because I'm so stressed all the time with work. If I'm able to just go through my 24 hours, that's just enough for me. Really? Is that what you need? I don't think so. You need to address your creativity. Find that space within you. Find that that spark within you that does not suppress your creativity, but allows it to be expressed. Because it can lead to, again, imbalances. And again, the sacral chakra is basically all about the good things in life. So then there is guilt and shame. Feelings of guilt or shame, particularly related to one's emotions, desires, or sexual experiences, can negatively impact the sacral chakra. So if there's guilt, some people have, what do you call it? Relationships. I mean, they're married, but they have relationships outside. So normally, the spouse, I'm not going to say husband or wife, goes out of the way to do things better in the house. They'll bring extra gifts or flowers or take care of home more beautifully, provide a lot of other things to the family, because somewhere there is a guilt that what they're doing may not be the correct thing. So when you have adultery and adulterous behavior, you see a lot of this happening in people. When the spouse is having an affair outside, they will make sure that they do over and above in the house where they're living. Okay? So guilt and shame, this is just an example. There could be very many ways of looking at the guilt. Because, again, I'll come to the ice cream. Suppose you were dying to have an ice cream and you had promised your children that, okay, I'll take you out for ice cream. But you ate it and you came back home. And the child asked you, Mom, you didn't get the ice cream. You die of guilt. It's such a small example I'm giving you. Then you'll overcompensate. Then you'll say, okay, today it's already too late. Tomorrow I'm going to give you ice cream and maybe pancakes, something else. So what happens? Even in the littlest of things, you can develop guilt and shame. The bigger guilt and shame, of course, comes from all the creative repression, sexual repression, and just doing things which are not within the defined norms that you have decided for yourself. Okay? So lack of pleasure and joy. We know sacral chakra is associated with pleasure and joy. So the more you deny yourself pleasure and joy, the more the sacral chakra will continue to be blocked. Unbalanced relationships. Okay? So lack of emotional intimacy or emotions where they are suppressed, that again influences the chakras. Addictions and unhealthy habits. Now, addictions of any kind give you a false sense of pleasure. But those unhealthy habits destabilize probably your home, your family, your children. So you see the impact it will have long term on your children, on your family life, and maybe at your workplace too. So those habits need to be curtailed. How to do it? Working on your sacral chakra. Then fear of change. So fear of change, because if you're living a very cushioned life, everything is going fine, you're enjoying yourself, you are in a state of, let's say, social procrastination. You don't want change because you fear if there is a change, there would be a lot of things you may need to change. I know of a couple who were living in Philippines. Good job. But Philippines affords you that luxury of having helpers to help you in the house. The husband was getting a promotion and was asked to move to Europe. Europe meant no help, right? You have to do all your work yourself. So the life had become so comfortable for the lady, she refused to go. They lived 4 years apart with the husband living alone over there. Of course, the family life got affected. But this fear of change, I have to go there, I'll have to do all the work, I'll have to manage things, I'll have to blah, 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 which was not the case when you're living in some of the Southeast Asian countries too, including India. Right? So even just that change was not acceptable to her. So they lived 4 years apart. And then, of course, he came back to Philippines, but their relationship had gone through a lot of change. Then, lack of sensuality and body awareness. The sacral chakra is also connected to our sense of sensuality and our relationship with our physical bodies. So when you disconnect from your body, there was a disconnect at the root chakra level also. Here also, when you disconnect from your body, you don't love and honor your body, yourself basically, that creates a disconnect completely. So you have affirmations for that in the book, but I can just say to you that I archive my happiness. I admit my guilt of not letting others enjoy under the loving care of radical consciousness. And I intend and invite the experience of joy and pleasure and happiness. I radiate joy, pleasure, happiness in my inner and outer world. All this is to do with the sacral chakra. Right? Any questions till now? Anybody? No one? Any thoughts that you'd like to share? No questions. Okay.
Thought is that there is too much to work.
Exactly. The thing is, it's not too much to work. Once you understand the concept, then it's very easy for you to know that, okay, this is solar, this is sacral, this is root, this is heart, and this is how I can handle it.
So, ma'am, the best way is to just focus on the chakra, which is responsible for whatever is going on in life, and do the affirmations, whatever are given in the manual or in the crystalline workbook.
Yes, agreed. You can do that. Plus, you need to also do the statements for what the thought, feeling, emotion is. Suppose it is helplessness. So you need to work on that helplessness too.
Yes.
But then helplessness is associated with solar. So then you'll work on your solar chakra too. So you'll know it.
Okay.
So these explanations that I'm giving you in an expansive form. Yeah.
May I give one statement?
Sure.
I admit my balanced sacral chakra and the loving care of radical consciousness.
Of course, you can do that.
I can do that.
You can, of course, you can do that. I admit the balance of my sacral chakra
Balance of my
Under the-
central, loving care of radical consciousness.
Yes. So Priyanka, is that clear what you asked? Is that question clear to you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Got it.
So then we come to
Thank you.
solar. You're welcome. We come to solar now. What is solar? It's all about power. It's about control. It's about positioning. My position in life, my power, my control, abilities. So what is it that counters it? It is low self-esteem, fear of rejection and criticism, lack of personal boundaries, lack of control or excessive control. Again, shame and guilt, unresolved emotions, power struggles and dominance, lack of direction or purpose. You need external validation. And physically, there may be digestive issues. Right? So if there's low self-esteem, so lack of self-esteem and self-worth leads to imbalance in the solar chakra. When an individual feels inadequate or struggles with self-doubt, it can weaken this energy center. So low self-esteem, again, it's throat basically. So that's where we communicate. But the center of it is right here. So when it starts weakening from here, and by the time it reaches your throat, you're lost. Get it? So if there is an imbalance, you need to take care of it at the solar level also. Okay? Now, fear of rejection and criticism, the arrogance, the ego, the power, the control, the position, it all comes at the solar level. So if you have, suppose you are rejected, or there is a lot of criticism, your ego kicks in. Maybe your arrogance kicks in too. So what happens? It impacts you so deeply that because the solar chakra is very sensitive. All right. Remember all the gut problems that we have? It's all linked to the solar chakra. So if you're sensitive and not able to take in criticism and rejection, what happens? If someone fears judgment or feels constantly criticized, this chakra gets affected. And then the responses from the person who was constantly criticized is nothing but full of bitterness. Have you noticed this? You may have come across people who are constantly bitter about everything that is happening around them, in front of them, to other people, which they think is happy, but they are suffering because they let their power go. Right? That was the internal power, which is not about power and position like that. Yeah. Then you have lack of personal boundaries. So if an individual has difficulty in setting boundaries or feels constantly overpowered by others, it impacts the chakra. So I remember when I was working, my boss was a wonderful, genial person. And he was friendly to everyone. He had a very amiable nature. And he was very understanding of women's situations, you know. He would even allow them to eat breakfast whenever the 9 o'clock tea was served in the office. Others complained to him, and he said, why not? They come from so far. They leave their homes at 7 in the morning. If they can have their breakfast for 5-10 minutes, I'll get more output from them than by trying to tell them, why are you eating your breakfast over here? Right? So once I asked him, I said, how come you are so personal and so, caring for everyone? He says, that is what humanity should be. But there is one rule that everybody should follow, that have intimacy of love, relationship, care, understanding, but table distance. So that was his mantra. He maintained this by saying, table distance, and it stayed with me. That what a beautiful way that yes, but thank you, but no thank you. Yes, but no, right? So once you establish boundaries, if you let go of your boundaries, you've let go of your power, you've let go of your position, you've let go of your control. So it is bound to make a lot of impact on you. Shame and guilt, again, we know will come from when there is no power, no position, etc. There will be shame that will be attached. So lack of unresolved emotions. If there are too many unresolved emotions like helplessness, rejection, anger, fear, guilt, so we keep storing it because we let ourselves go. We did not appreciate what was given to us maybe at the sacral level. We did not stabilize ourselves at the root level. So by the time it comes to solar, everything is gone. You are left with unresolved emotions. And then they don't allow you to be the authentic you. So what can you do? Strengthen your solar chakra. Then power struggles and dominance is clear that everybody is playing a power game in life. Understand your role play. Know your role play. Know where you should be. Then things will fall in place. Don't try to mother everyone. Don't try to be bossing everyone. Don't try to be the dominating one. Just be. Allow yourself with the radical principles of love, care, joy, peace, happiness, and integrity. To rule your life, things become simpler. Okay? So if you don't have a direction or a purpose in life, that again will impact you. Like someone says, I really don't know what I want to do. I'm so lost. Or I don't feel like doing anything. Why? Because as a collective of all the emotions and situations that are happening in your life, you allowed yourself to be impacted so deeply that today you are feeling helpless and you don't know how to handle it. Yeah? So then, digestive issues, as I talked about, all the gut and everything else that gets blocked, the energy centers, the energies, the vibrations, when they get blocked inside you, they create problems for you. So what do you need to do? Expand it, let go, surrender, and let not the solar be the reason for your life not worth living, right? So what is it that you'd like to say for solar? I find my sense of security. I admit my guilt of making others feel insecure under the loving care of radical consciousness. I remain safe and secure in my secure universe. On the other side, you have IR5, my charge over myself, my responses, and my situations. This is what you are giving to the world. I remain in charge of my life. Right? So is that clear? Anybody, any questions? Should we stop at solar because it's time and continue the balance 4 chakras next time? How about that?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I want you to absorb all this that happened till now. Any questions or any thoughts?
There is one statement that you just spoke. I remain safe and secure in my secure universe. And afterwards, there is one IR5, my?
IR5, my charge over myself,
okay,
my responses, and my situation.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah? Is
Thank
that
you.
clear?
Yes.
So I think because it will go long, so we'll stop at solar, heart, third eye, I take about heart, throat, third eye, and crown. We will do next time. How does that sound? Is it okay?
Great.
Any thumbs up for him? Any thumbs up? Okay. Great.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
It was wonderful.
Thank you, Arati ji.
Thank you, ma'am.
Just explain the Aatmn.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
So please write
Thank
your
you.
comments in the circle of peaceful progress. We'll open up the page for you. Do write your comments over there.